Thank you for being here. I'm really excited to be able to share with you what basically is the culmination of my life's work so far and everything I've learned from a lot of you, actually, and with a lot of you. So I also thought of this, what Paul said about I know nothing by myself, because when you start thinking about some of these things that have kind of culminated over the things that you've learned in your life, you realize that how much you've learned from so many people, right? So I want to start by having you, and it's on your idea pad, why are you a leader in education? Why did I become a teacher? I mainly became a teacher because I had a sister who was 15 months younger than me. The system at the time was pretty toxic for her because she thought in a very creative way. She was very curious, had a lot of, she didn't fit the mold, but it was completely devalued by the system. And so that motivated me to become a teacher because I wanted to change other people. I wanted to give people an experience where they could discover their gifts, right? And I know many of you have similar stories. I saw you nodding when I said had to do with somebody that you care about. I became an administrator like many of you because, again, I wanted to have more impact. I figured out, you could have more impact in the system than just with those kids. But I hated leaving the classroom. How many of you wish you were still back in the classroom, right? It's like you miss it, you miss the classroom. So, and then I found it engaged to learn because I figured out that really, as an administrator, it was very difficult for me to make innovations in the system while I was still maintaining the system. So about 20 years ago, we started having all these provocateurs come forward, right? And start telling us what was wrong with public education and, it's the industrial model, all that, how we needed to shift it, right? Do y'all remember that time? How many of you remember? Okay, so this started, and really, they served a purpose. It was a good purpose, because in a lot of places, we moved 10 times in 16 years when I was in my young career, because my husband coached college basketball, not because we were running from the law. And we got to see a lot of systems. And, honestly, we did need a little bit of a wake-up call, right? I think public education did need some of those provocateurs to say, we need to change some things, right? We know we need to make a shift in public education. Let's come up with the best next idea. What is the idea? What does it look like, right? And we had all these think tanks, and in Texas, we're really fortunate because we had that group of superintendents that came together and came around and came to agreement on a new vision for public education in Texas. That was 10 years ago, believe it or not, 2008. So that's awesome. So those think tanks have been good. But today, we don't necessarily need more good ideas. We all have a lot of good ideas. We also don't need to be told what needs to change. Now we need a system, and this is what this is about, for helping us move to scale and sustainability. Engage to Learn was formed basically to help administrators that were trying to innovate to take some of that heavy lifting and provide processes. The reason I tell you that is because that's part of the research base for what I'm going to share with you. So over the past 8 years, we've been able to work in about 205 districts, and that has been kind of an action research. We've seen a lot of districts and how that works and how they can scale. We get the opportunity to work district-wide, wall-to-wall, to make change happen. And so we've been able to use that information to come up with a research base on the 5 leadership levers that we share with you.